Welcome to Three Commentaries. Let's talk about NWA Powerrr from April the 20th, 2021. And we start the show with Nick Aldous and Trevor Murdoch having words. And essentially, Trevor Murdoch blamed Chris Adonis and Nick Aldous for him not being the champion anymore. I was about to say North American champion. Wait a minute. That is what it is? No, it's the national championship. Good Lord, so many belts in wrestling. Anyway, Aldous said he's tired of disrespect. Murdoch is disrespecting the hell out of him. And said he's not the national champion anymore, not because of him or Adonis, but because he's stupid. He took a match, that he shouldn't have taken, and now he's lost. And said that really Adonis did you a favor, because somebody like you does not deserve to be a champion. So take the night off. I will work the main event, give some young, hot talent the rub, and you go do what people like you do. Go drink a beer, eat a pizza or something. And Murdoch is just looking at him, snarling, basically. And and he says that recognize that you're not championship material, but if you don't come out to the ring, if you don't come out there, then maybe, just maybe, I'll think about giving you a title match. So then, obviously, Murdoch says, I want, make that promise. And he's like, we'll consider it. Don't come out and we'll talk about it. And then, so Murdoch is like, all right. So that sets up the main events, but it also sets up another promo. Not Nick Aldous, but Chris Adonis and Tom Latimer is with human Barbie known as May Valentine. And Aldous basically says that Murdoch needs to get a clue. That, how many times could I possibly beat this guy up? And then May Valentine was like, but Chris Adonis, you only beaten him one time. And he was kind of like, what? I beat this guy up all the time. What are you talking about, lady? So Tom Latimer, being a complete nut, was like, he wants to be the tag team champion. That's their focus. And that, that's what Nick Aldous wants. He wants them to be the tag team champions. And, everything's going to be strictly business. It's not going to be personal, dog. It's going to be strictly business. So then, the main event, Nick Aldous is going to wrestle Jordan Clearwater. I could have sworn they wrestled last year, but didn't matter because nobody did anything. So after Nick Aldous comes out, Murdoch and comes out to ringside, and he's already in a fight with Latimer and Chris Adonis, and he just gets pummeled. They pummel this guy. He gets just beaten up. Adonis puts him in the master lock and does the master lock slam on him. And he's, Murdoch is crawling on his knees trying to up to Aldous. And there's that beautiful shot where he's kind of looking up at him. He's just like tugging on his pants leg. Well, that's just classic pro wrestling right there, dog. And he just beat the dog shit out of him. Obviously left him laying in the middle of the ring. Murdoch did not keep his end of the bargain. He was not supposed to come out there, but he came out there because he was fighting these two guys. They basically fought him out to the front. So he's not going to get his title shot because he didn't follow directions. And he got his ass beat because he's stupid. So, but this is very good. This is really good because Trevor Murdoch has the old NWA look. He has that old Dusty Rhodes look. That old Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch look. He's got it. That's kind of how like a lot of guys in the NWA used to look, in the AWA too, so to a much lesser degree. So that's kind of he's got the look for the territory, and he still gets sort of the sympathy for being the fighting blue collar guy up against these uber athletes, who with their six packs and their broad shoulders and their biceps. And he's just like a chubby trucker dude, So this has a lot of layers of storytelling to it, where you have the class layer of it, you have the aesthetic layer of it, where he's like a big fat ogre, and these guys are like, especially one dude is literally called Adonis, by the way. Like this guy's, literally shredded. Latimer is also shredded, by the way. So there's a lot of layers of storytelling for you to take this. And then it's the good old, they just treating him like a rube, kicking him around and everything. So this was good. Really enjoyed this. It's crazy because I really don't normally enjoy anything involving Trevor Murdoch, but I did enjoy this. This was good. So then May Valentine had a conversation with Slice Boogie, Mr. New York City, a bomb atomically. Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define a hobby dropping these mockeries, lyrically performed armed robbery. I know the rest of the verse, but I can't do it in one breath. Anyway, Slice Boogie didn't say anything, but except for, Jax Dane was talking that shit about him, but he beat Jax Dane 2 weeks ago. And so now he says he's going to, challenge Jax Dane again. And says he's going to beat him anytime, anywhere. He also kind of flirted with May Valentine, who doesn't know how to flirt, because she's a plastic doll. Anyway, the next match, the first match, I should say. Saul Renaro versus Kratos and Aaron Stevens. Now, this was supposed to be a tag team match. It was supposed to be Saul Renaro and a former NWA champion versus the NWA tag team champions of Kratos and Aaron Stevens. Renaro comes out and there is nobody with him. He's by himself. The tag team champions come out and then they commence to wrestle this one guy. Aaron Stevens is a good guy though. So he decides to wrestle this one guy. The match is non-title, of course. So throughout the match, Joe Galley and Velvet Scar and Tony Tim Storm are telling the story of how Renaro got held up. Like a prom date. He got stood up. He got all goosied up and got dressed and nobody came. So he was getting beat up by Aaron Stevens, who took it easy on him and tagged out. And then Kratos comes in and just starts destroying him. And it was just like, it got brutal and it got bad. And everybody on commentary is like, wait a minute, man, this sucks. He can just pin this guy right now. He won't do it. Why won't he just pin this guy? Come on, it's over. He can't fight back. He's got no partner. What's going on? And then it gets to the point where Stevens is like, look, just pin him. Just pin him. Get it over with. And Kratos is like, nah, I'm enjoying this. Forget this. I'm enjoying this. And then Tim Storm leaves the announce desk, goes over to Stevens, is like, look, get your man. Get your partner, man. Like, this is not good. What we got going on here is not good. It's not professional. And Stevens gets in the ring to sort of pull Kratos off. And that kind of gives Renaro, a little bit of a break. Tim Storm goes over into Renaro's corner. And then he comes up on the ring apron. Kratos tries to punch him. He ducks the punch. He throws a punch back, which theoretically should have been disqualification. Anyway, Kratos gets rolled up by Renaro and gets pinned. So then the referee announces that Tim Storm was officially Saul Renaro's partner. And that's why it wasn't a disqualification. So it was Saul Renaro and Tim Storm defeating the tag team champions of Aaron Stevens and Kratos. It's a very bad, outside of AEW, it's a bad time to be a tag team champion. And you're just going to get jibbed out. Anyway, but this, of course, furthers the storyline of Kratos and Stevens breaking up. Because Kratos was pretty mad at Stevens for stopping him when he was having his fun beating the tar out of Saul Renaro. And Tim Storm basically was like, look, I fell into this. I don't know. I wasn't meant to be his partner. I didn't do anything. I just threw a punch. He did all the work by hanging in there. And, he gave him the old, you did good, pal, And we find out this was Saul Renaro's very first win ever. He had never won a match before in NWA. This was his very first win. And so this was meaningful. And it put him right in line for a title shot. So now we've got something for Tim Storm to do, which is good. Tim Storm is not retired apparently. So this is going to be good. So then we get something that's really good. Pope and Tyrus. So Pope and Tyrus are going to cut this promo. They're going to talk. So Pope talks about how he respects everybody. He respects everybody that labors with him in this business. But he says that, as he traveled throughout the business, everywhere he goes, Tyrus seems to go. And he says, like, I feel like you're following me. He didn't get to do his full Dusty this week. Pope loves Dusty. But he says that he feels like Tyrus is following him, and he wants to know why. And Tyrus says, I don't follow you. I'm a trailblazer. We just happen to be going in the same direction or whatever. And he says, like, I love you like a brother. You're like a big brother to me. Which is strange because he's the one with the gray hair and Pope isn't. But he says that, I appreciate it when we was together. You took me under your wing. You didn't get to fly very high, but you took me under your wing, and I appreciate that. I learned under you. And then he talking about how, Pope should have been the guy. Like, I always thought that you should have been the guy. But you kept, clinging on to other people. You kept trying to push other people in front of you. And, I thought it was never going to happen. I never thought you would actually be the guy. So I left and I started doing TV because I'm a TV star. He does Fox News, I believe. He's like, I do TV. I'm a TV star. I'm in movies. I do all this type of stuff. And I hear that now, finally, you're the guy. You're the NWA television champion. You are the guy. No longer hiding behind anybody else. You're the man now. So I figure friend to friend, as a former friend, you could just, we can do this. I challenge you for the title. So Pope is like, daddy. No way, no how. The Pope ain't gonna let you disrespect this title by just showing up out of nowhere and cutting in line and getting a title match. That ain't how that's gonna go. And Tyrus is like, oh, that's how it is? He's like, oh yeah, daddy, that's how it is. And Tyrus was like, oh, we can't just handle this friend to friend? You gonna put other people in harm's way because you scared? And Pope was like, I ain't scared of nobody. I'm just fair. I'm just fair. I do this fair. You got to get in line. You got to earn just like everybody else. So you saying I got to qualify? And Pope was like, just like everybody else. So that was tense. It was good. I like the meat that they put on it. I like that Tyrus approached this as in like you gonna put other people in harm's way? You really gonna you know what I can do? Like, look at me. I'm a brontosaurus. I'm a rhinoceros in human form. Look at me. Like so I covers the ground that I walk on. As Ernie Ladd used to say. Anyway, so that led to the next match, which ended up being Tyrus versus Marshay Rocket versus Matt Cross. Literally 2/3 of the last time there was a TV championship qualifying match. Literally, Marshay Rocket and Matt Cross is in that match with Darren Young. I can't remember Fred Roster. Shit. Anyway, this was good. This match wasn't good though. This match sucked because it was just a match for Tyrus to win. So Tyrus, of course, wins the match because he was dominating both guys at first, and then they started kind of turning the table, so he powdered. And basically, he just watched those two guys wrestle, and then he came in and stole the win. Typical triple threat logic. It is what it is. So we're going to get Tyrus and the Pope, which, after they did the build-up here, should be very good. Now, I have no high hopes for the match, but I am very interested in where they go with this match now. So that's a good thing. Even if I can't say it's going to be a great work rate match, I can say that it's a very well-built match. And that the outcome will matter. And I will be interested in what the outcome will be. So the last thing for me to talk about is Camille versus Genocide. This match was, supposed to be power versus power, two big women. They were doing tests of strength and they were trading body slams on each other. But it also felt like they were wrestling underwater at times because both of them needs to be led. Neither one of them is a ring general from what it seems like. And Camille is a complete and total bumpkin. I listened to her. I did watch Power Surge. I just didn't do a video on it because it was so much wrestling going on during WrestleMania week. I just could not function anymore. But Camille is still very. She's like female EC3 at this point. She looks great, but that thing's got to move, dog, and she's a little stiff. She's a little stiff in her movements. Genocide is obviously very green. She knows, she knows some stuff. She looks like Omega Red from X-Men, but still. The finish came with 2 spears. Genocide actually kicked out of the first spear, and the second one actually got the job done. So, and after Camille wins, Melina came down and took her shoes off for reasons unknown, and she kind of said some things to Camille that Camille didn't really like while she was trying to check on Genocide. And when she turned around, Camille speared her too. And I was like, oh, interesting. As she saw that Thunder Rosa came out. And Thunder Rosa was barking outside the ring at Camille about, trying to get her hands on Camille and what she was going to do to Camille when she got her hands on her. But she didn't get in the ring, though. So okay, so we're furthering the Camille Thunder Rosa storyline, but also the Melina storyline with Thunder Rosa. And we've just finished up Camille's business with Genocide. So this could be interesting depending on where they go. I didn't really care for the match though. The match, it wasn't that good. It was monster trucks, sure, girl version of monster trucks, but it looked like little kids smashing monster trucks together, not artful, athletic machines smashing into each other. But it is what it is. But it's still a good episode of NWA Powerrr. This was still very good. The NWA tag team title stuff is very good. The Strictly Business storyline is very good. I'm enjoying all of that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Use the hashtag 3ConCommentaries to follow other videos in the channel. You can go to the description. There you will find my Twitter account, where you can follow me on Twitter. You could also subscribe to the channel via Subscribestar or send donations through the Cash App, whichever feels better for you. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to my review of NWA Powerrr, April the 20th, 2021. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.